Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and I'm here to talk about books. So today we are going to be kicking off another readathon hosted by none other than Gabby Reads. This one is the Screaming Color Readathon. She usually will select like one or two colors, and you just have to read books that have that color on the cover. This readathon's color selection is teal and orange, and this one is a little bit inspired or centered around Taylor Swift. I am not a Swiftie myself, but I do love a good readathon. And you don't necessarily have to be a Swiftie to participate. The only things that are Taylor Swift related this time around is that the colors selected were based off of her most recent album cover. She also does reading sprints both Saturday and Sunday. And on Saturday, which is today's sprint, she does like a Taylor Swift trivia. She also has some other trivia thrown in there as well. So why not? I do have 3 books picked out for my TBR. The first one, which I think we'll be starting on very shortly, is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It has like teal here on the top. And all that I know about this is that it's kind of like a magical realism contemporary type book. It has to do with time travel. And there are a set of rules for the person that's time traveling, one of which being that you have to make it back to your timeline before the coffee gets cold. I don't know what happens if you don't. Also, for November, the buzzword cover challenge is to read a book that has food or drink on the cover, so coffee. And next, this is actually one that Gabby herself read and really liked, and it's been on my TBR ever since. So Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. I just know that this one is a romance, and it has to do with this woman who gets pregnant. She starts to fall in love with her best friend's brother, which is this guy here. He is not the father of this baby, but seems like a sticky situation. This is definitely a different premise than a lot of other romances that I've seen out there, so it caught my attention. And last, but certainly not least, this is my cover that has orange on it. I wanted to take this opportunity to finally read Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. If you watch a lot of my other videos, you're probably tired of hearing me say this, but for the most part, I do try to read blind and just go based off of recommendations from people, booktubers who I know and trust with their opinions. I've heard nothing but good reviews about this book, so I had to get it, and I'm gonna read it for this readathon. So yeah, that is my TBR for this weekend. I don't know for sure if I'll be able to get to all 3 books, but I'll do my best. In a couple of hours, Gabby will be doing her sprints for today, Saturday, so I'm probably going to be jumping on those as well. And I'm just gonna get a head start on one of these books, hopefully before my coffee gets cold. It also looks like this one is in a series too, so it's a little intimidating, and hopefully they can be read as standalones because I don't really want to commit to a 5-book series unless I really love it, but we'll see what happens.
Ooh, goldfish. Classic. Extra cheddar flavor blasted. Classic. What? Spade soda?
Wow.
Never heard of it. But it's very teal.
Calories. Ooh, Before I Fall is a good guess. You're very close. It is, yes, Before I Let Go. And that is a correct answer. Later, happy reading.
So I just got off reading sprints with Gabby. I sprinted with her for like 4.5 hours, but my husband is home now, so we're going to head to the park and take the dogs because it looks like it's gonna rain, so we want to kind of do that before it rains. And then it would be absolutely fantastic if I could just stay home and read under a little blanket. Like, that's such a vibe. I love that. During sprints, I started on Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I just really wasn't vibing with it. Like, it wasn't catching my interest. It's very easy to flip through because the pages are like so short, but I got to page 87. It wasn't really grabbing me, so I figured for the readathon, this one is just going to be a soft DNF. because I would like to read something fast paced. I asked Gabby out of the 2 books that I had on my TBR which one she thinks I should read, and we came to the conclusion of Ready or Not. So this was the book that I picked up next on sprints, and I got to page 70. So far this one is much better. This one is really grabbing me. It's moving fast paced. Immediately when the book starts, she's at the doctor's finding out that she's pregnant, and then she is telling her best friend who struggles with infertility, so it's like kind of sad. Best friend's brother kind of steps in and is trying to be there for her. He goes with her to the place where she met this guy because she doesn't even know what his name is. It was like a one-night stand, which was where he worked. He was the bartender, and accompanies her so that she's not by herself, so that she can tell him that she's pregnant. The next parts of that are kind of like a spoiler, so I don't really want to get into that, but this one so far is moving very fast, and it's definitely capturing my interest a lot more than Before the Coffee Gets Cold. So this is the book that I'm reading now, and this is the one that I'm going to be taking to the park. We are back with day 2 of Screaming Color. Today I'm wearing my husband's band t-shirt, which has like some teal-ish, and that could be orange. It's kind of brown, but I also have this coffee cup that I'm drinking out of today, which is the Arizona like Starbucks cup, and it definitely has some oranges on it. I actually decide that I'm going to DNF Before the Coffee Gets Cold because I'm just realizing that it's not for me. I know it's a translated work, so that could be like part of the reason why I'm not really liking it, because it seems kind of clunky. I know it's magical realism, so you're supposed to give it some grace on some things with certain parts of it not being fully fleshed out, but there were like the reasoning for you having to travel back before your coffee gets cold just didn't hit for me. And I feel like that was the part that would have made it more like high stakes. So yeah, I'm actually not really enjoying that book, but it's all right. I'll just have to find another book to read for the Buzzword Cover Challenge. And at this point, I think it might just be a cozy mystery, because I might read the next one in the series for this like pizza parlor cozy mystery that I did earlier this year. Last night, I did get relatively far in this book. I only have this much left. Gabby is starting sprints in like 10 minutes, so I will be hopping on those as well. I think I'm gonna try to see if I can finish this one on audio, because I am in the middle of crocheting some stuff. I wanted to get like a head start on some of the Christmas things. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to pull up the sprints so that they're ready to go when Gabby hops on, and I'm probably gonna throw in this audio book and get to crocheting.
Hello, good morning, happy Sunday, happy day 2 of Screaming Color.
We just did the first hour of sprints, and I finished Ready or Not in exactly the 1 hour. It is so cute. This was actually so perfect and lighthearted and a good way to start this readathon, even though I did start with the Before the Coffee Gets Cold, but I'm glad that I picked this one up next. I feel like there was so much commentary on motherhood and unplanned pregnancies and stuff like that. How you have to come to terms with how much your life is going to change within the next 9 months because you did not plan for this to happen. And I feel that it was just a really interesting take on a romance. It was different. It's definitely not like any other romance that I've read before, and I really liked it. Also, this guy, Shep right here, is so freaking cute. He was just absolutely the most adorable little, like, protect him at all cost type of guy. There was also this one part in this book where it talked about like selflessness and how a lot of people are self-centered naturally because they experience life through their own lens and what they go through on a daily basis, and you don't typically step into other people's shoes very often. And then there are other people who are other-centered, as it said in the book, and those are people who just think about what other people's needs are and like putting others before themselves, and that's just kind of naturally how they are as a person. And Shep was definitely that kind of person. While I did feel kind of bad for him at some points because I'm like, he put everybody else before himself. Even some of the struggles that he went through that I don't want to spoil for you guys, really did put himself second and thought about like my friends and family and my loved ones, what do they need from me? And then there was also the commentary about how before you're a mom, you can be self-centered, but then you are forced to be into that like other-centered personality type because you now have somebody who relies on you, and this person now becomes like your responsibility, and you have to think about their needs and what would make life easier for your child. So that was all a very interesting take in this one. And yeah, I think I'm gonna end up giving this one 4.5 stars. I did really love it. I had a great time with it. Definitely one of my new favorite romances that I've read. We are doing another hour-long sprint, and I'm going to start on Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. I'm gonna take a break from crocheting for now. This is as far as I got. This is going to be like a Christmas tree ornament, but it will be a cat inside of like a Christmas ball. So I'm taking a break on this for now because my hand is a little bit sore from how tight like these stitches have to be for this one. And then I did top up my Spotify listening hours so I can switch over to audiobook if I feel the need to. But for now, I'm just gonna read it physically. Hello. So the Screaming Color Readathon ended yesterday, and I did finish Wild Dark Shore yesterday, but I was having a very sleepy Sunday, so I read this book throughout like the entirety of my day, and I was way too tired to update you guys yesterday. So I'm coming at you Monday after work to give you my full synopsis and final thoughts on Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. This takes place on a fictional island called Shearwater. It is near Antarctica, and it's the home of a seed vault that preserves millions and millions of seeds in the event of a disaster where we would need to like regrow crops and replant plants that are necessary for like the ecosystem. But there was also a very tragic past here as well. And we are following from multiple different perspectives, most of which being the Salt family, which consists of a father named Dominic and his 3 children. They live on a lighthouse on the island, and their job is to pretty much just look after the island. There are these crazy storms that happen. They're constantly going out of power and things are breaking. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. It's daily work. It's a full-time job. At one point, there were also these groups of researchers that would stay on the island to work, and they would live in these cabins that were there. But with the rising sea levels and the really dangerous climate conditions living here, the Salt family are the only ones that are left. One day, a strange woman is washed ashore, and she is barely alive. She nearly died in the ocean. So this family nurses her back to health. From there, we start to uncover that not only is this woman very mysterious and has a lot of secrets, but she's not the only one. Everyone in this family has secrets of their own, and even the island itself kind of serves as a character in this book. Things just start to unravel, stories start connecting, and this one is just a wild ride. This author has such a gift with building characters that have really diverse personalities, characters that you can connect with, and then at the same time you have this atmosphere that is so earthy and unpredictable and scary in its own way. This book is about grief, survival, family, love. Like, there's so many themes in here that are so well represented. On the outside looking in, this is not the type of read that I typically go for. It's not really a thriller, it's more of like a climate fiction slow burn mystery, but this was done really well. This just serves as a reminder to me why sometimes I do, you know, step outside of my comfort zone and read things that I know other people are enjoying, because there might just be a hidden gem like this one. So I ended up giving Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy 5 stars, and I feel like this one is definitely going to be sticking with me. I feel like I learned a lot from this book, not only about my personal reading taste, but also about just like the random animals and environment, climate, and things like that that don't really come up in a lot of the other books that I read. So overall, I had a ton of fun with this readathon. I'm so grateful that Gabby does these like winterween, summerween readathons, because it always gives me a reason to step outside of my comfort zone and to read something new. And I just absolutely love that. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this community on BookTube. But as always, please don't forget to like this video if you liked it, comment down below if there's anything that you would like to say, and subscribe if you are looking forward to more content like this in the future from me. But that is all for me today, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!